From the stables of the King of Talk, it's the Teju Babyface Show Plus. Yes, plus people. That means it's bigger. That means it's better. That means it's more awesome. Featuring amazing interviews, superb music, great guests, inspirational moments, and so much more. And mentorship moments with Teju Babyface. And now, to the King of Talk himself, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Teju Babyface.
Yes, hello and you're welcome again to the Teju Babyface Show Plus. My name is Teju Babyface Oyelakin. They call me the King of Talk, and I am many things these days. But before I introduce myself fully, let me explain where we are, because I know that some of you are confused. You saw the audience in the studio, and then here I am now in what seems to be my own private studio. Well, we're actually in the same place. We are separated maybe by only a wall. As I explained at the beginning of the season, it's that our show attracts a lot of audience members from different walks of life. We attract fathers, daddies, and mommies, and uncles, and aunties, and newlyweds. But our greatest fans, for some reason, seem to be mothers of babies, or pregnant mothers, or expecting mothers. Maybe it's because we always give away baby-friendly things on the show. Anyway, so it is that usually these days, at any one of our recordings, there are at least 6 nursing mothers in the studio with beautiful babies. And these babies make joyful noises. They cry, they gurgle, they make nice sounds. While all that is beautiful to hear, it's not beautiful for recording. So you're talking with a guest and all that, and the baby starts crying. So anyway, what we decided to do this season is that anytime we have babies in the studio, we put the mothers and the audience members in the main studio, and then I come to my own private studio here where I can see them, they can see me, I can hear them, but they can't hear me. They can hear me rather, but I can't hear them unless I want to. Alright, so basically we can see ourselves. That's the gist of everything. So they are in the studio there, and I am here in the same building, and it's still the same Teju Babyface show. Except this is the Teju Babyface Show Plus. That means that for the first time in almost 10 years of doing this show, because it's 8 years this year, we have decided to go outside of the studio to interview some of our special guests. Not everybody can come to us, and so we are availing ourselves of the opportunity of going to them at their convenience to record them, which you will see this season. So again, you're welcome to the Teju Babyface Show. Again, my name is Teju Babyface Oyelakin. I am the host and the producer of this show. I'm an author, the author of the book Secrets of the Streets, 23 Secrets for Achieving Success with Your Talent. I am a United Nations Sustainable Development Goals Ambassador for Nigeria. That is what this pin stands for. And there are 17 Sustainable Development Goals adopted by the United Nations, but I advocate Goals 4 and Goal 8, which is quality education, or which are quality education and sustainable economic growth with a focus on entrepreneurship. So you're welcome to the show. All right, so this was all the introduction. We will take a break now, and as per usual on the Teju Babyface Show, we usually start with something funny. So this is a funny clip for you from one of our past seasons. This is me doing something funny, or it could be somebody else. Anyway, in the next few minutes, you're going to be entertained, and then we'll come back and I'll introduce to you who our special guest is on this episode of the show. Remember, it's the Teju Babyface Show Plus, and you're welcome again. The King of Talk, he says so.
There's something I want to tell you. From the rays of the sun, my love for you is like a passion that burns within the flame. You've been a source of inspiration in every hour in my house. From the way I feel, the expression in my heart, I don't know how to express this to you.
Don't say, don't say.
Are you sure you take this? Are you sure you want to hear what I have to say? I've loved you all along.
I love you too.
Do you want to hear what I have to tell you? This your hairstyle change and this one me and you do the date. Only this hair you dey do this hair. Now make I carry you pass a quarter. You change and you dey carry hair like pregnancy. Eh? Ah, you just the one hair. They say hair na tattoo sound. They say everything one hair.
You know that even though things look bleak, we are living in the best years of our lives at the moment. Achieving success in Nigeria and Africa has never been easier for talented people. You already have everything you need to succeed inside you, and all you need are the secrets to unlock your potential. This is why you need Secrets of the Streets by Teju Babyface, 23 Secrets for Achieving Success with Your Talent. In this book, you will learn how to stop doubting yourself and follow your passion, how to overcome resistance and start fulfilling.
All right, you're welcome back to the Teju Babyface Show Plus. Yes, it's bigger, it's better, it's nicer now, and that is what we call our show now because we've added other elements to the show. All right, I hope you had fun watching that funny moment. Like we said, we always like to start with something funny on the show. We're here in the studio. We have our audience members in the general studio. Mothers and babies, daddies and mommies, aunties and uncles are there, and we're very glad to have them here. Okay, so we went on the road as per usual, and on this episode of the show, I spoke to somebody that I've been tracking for quite a while. Yes, been tracking for quite a while. Getting to speak to them was not the easiest thing, but after years of trying, I finally got them down and I was able to speak to them, or they were able to give me an appointment. On this episode, I speak to Nigeria's Minister for Mines and Steel Development, Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, former governor of Ekiti State. I'd been chasing him since he was in Ekiti. Uncle Kayode was just dodging like behaving like soap. You know, wet bar soap. You know you can't hold wet bar soap. When you hold it, pop out again. So I've been tracking Uncle Kayode for quite a while. Finally, I was able to get an appointment to record with Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, and it was an interesting interview. Usually, let me tell you, usually interviews are boring. Other shows, but on our show, you know how we do. God has given us the grace, and we say this with all humility. So it was very interesting. It was a very interesting exchange, and we rather enjoyed ourselves, both the interviewer and the interviewee. So this is Teju Babyface Show Plus, or Teju Babyface Show on the Road, as we call it, with Dr. John Kayode Fayemi. Enjoy. Okay, as it is obvious, we're not in the Teju Babyface Show studios. We're on the road, as you probably have found out the last few weeks. And I'm about to introduce to you the gentleman who greatly influenced that decision to leave the studios. It occurred to me at some point that if I keep waiting for His Excellency to come, we're never going to do this thing. And so we had to come to him. So please welcome on the Teju Babyface Show for the first... Well, actually, I say welcome, but he's the one welcoming me because we're in his house. So please welcome me to the house of Nigeria's Minister for Solid Minerals Development, Dr. John Kayode Fayemi.
It's really our house.
It's our house.
It's our house. Good to be in the studio.
Oh, in the studio. It's our house. I call you Uncle Kayode, and I get the impression when you were governor, because you'd come in and the SSS guys will be there and everybody will be Your Excellency, and even till now you come in and people are Minister, Mr. Minister, and there I am saying Uncle Kayode, and the SSS guys will be looking at me like, Uncle Bao, you will let it on. They don't get. Thank you, sir. This has been a long time coming.
It has been, and I must apologize. Part of the difficulty, as you know, is this relocation to Abuja.
Yes, sir.
I'm not an Abuja person, but work has taken me to Abuja, and every weekend I have to either find myself in Ekiti or in Lagos or Ibadan or wherever duty calls. And it's been difficult scheduling this, and I really want to apologize to my friends in the studio that this is a one-off. The next time I'll be in the studio.
He said it on international TV, so hold him to it. And that's the first thing I want to ask you, how are you doing this? I can understand that the governor of a state, or the way I believe it, is that the governor of a state has more control over his own time. When you're a minister, it seems as if you serve at the pleasure and the behest of your principal.
Absolutely.
And you can be summoned just on the dime.
just like that.
I mean, so how do you do that? How are you in Lagos 1 minute and then you have to be not even in Abuja or Ekiti? Sometimes you just have to go to, say, some other far-flung part of the country.
Well, the responsibilities that have been given by His Excellency the President is also international. Mining is not really a local business. Mining is an international business. So duty often takes me outside the shores of Nigeria as well. But I can't step out of Nigeria without taking permission. That's the difference.
Wow.
As a governor, I really don't have a boss in that sense. The people are my boss. The citizens who elected me are my boss. Okay. Or if you like, my bosses. But as a minister, every time I step out of Abuja, I have to take a permission from the president.
Really?
That I'm stepping out of town, I'm going to be away for so reasons, and I have to get an approval to do that. Most Nigerians don't know that. We're actually not as...
you have to actually ask, remind me of secondary school. You have to write for
the exeat. Remember the exeat we used to get when we were in boarding school?
Yes.
We still get, it's a form of exeat in the sense that we have to inform the boss that duty calls in a certain part of the world or the country, and we would like him to approve for us.
So what happens if you don't? If you just go?
Well, you really wouldn't do that.
You don't want to test.
It's not advisable.
It's not in your own best interest.
Exactly.
Okay.
At least if you still want to keep the job.
Okay, so I mean, I spoke to, also I call you Uncle Kayode, I call your wife and TBC. I spoke to Her Excellency in the studio a few years ago. It was absolutely awesome. I think we played that before this interview. And she mentioned that you met in the then University of Ife library.
Ezekiel Oluwasomi Library.
In fact, she remembered the name. That is how seminal and romantic that moment was for both of you.
Absolutely romantic.
Okay, great. And I teased that then that when she was supposed to be reading, she was being toasted.
No, it was actually part of the reading culture. You know, I mean, I'd come to Ife from a much more happening university. I came from the University of Lagos.
Thank you, sir. Greatest appetite.
Great. So, and I was a graduate student there. She was a graduate student. But you know, Ife girls, I mean, quite exciting and interesting. But for a Unilag guy, you know, but the books were interesting too. And in the normal run of things, one thing led to another. She needed to get a book out of the library. She didn't have a library card.
Yeah. It's awesome that you both remember this thing
graciously.
Very well.
I happen to have been in possession of my own library card, and I extended the courtesy of her using my card. and well, the rest, as they say.
That's exactly how she said. She said, the way she said it, the voice was so sweet that I teased her again. She said, Kayode, please, do you have your library card with you? That was exactly how she said it. So speaking of Ekiti State, before we go into something that, two things, one bugs me and one fascinates me. The other is, the first rather, is that when you were governor of Ekiti State, I mean, it affected my bottom line, my finances quite, in fact, it impacted quite positively. I lost count of the number of occasions that I came to Ekiti State to MC something for you.
Absolutely.
First, it was your wife at TBC who had something to do for women, and then she called me, and then it was your first year anniversary, then it was something else after that. I became a customer.
You are a constant feature.
Yes, and then you left the place and no MC again. Don't ministers do things? Shouldn't ministers organize parties? I lost count of the number of occasions that I came to Ekiti State to MC something for you.
Absolutely.
First, it was your wife at TBC who had something to do for women, and then she called me, and then it was your first year anniversary, then it was something else after that. I became a customer.
You are a constant feature.
Yes, and then you left the place and no MC again. Don't ministers do things? Shouldn't ministers organize parties?
Well, the entertainment budget of the ministry is not as generous as that of the government. It speaks to those differences that we earlier talked about.
Okay.
You know, as governor, you have perks and privileges.
You're basically the lot of all you own and survey in a manner of speaking.
In a manner of speaking,
okay.
Yes. But as a minister, you have bosses, you also have the National Assembly, tweaking the budget, dealing with padding or no padding, and all those issues. And it affects the bottom line.
Okay, I just thought I should mention that it wasn't only you when you left the government house that I also, we knew in our family that my mother would say, in fact, she said in Yoruba, okay, we now list to the part that fascinates me. I mean, so you didn't get to go again as governor. And it seemed to me, and to whoever was observant for a while, which is most Nigerians anyway, that the glory days of Kayode Fayemi seem to be over. He was governor and then he's no longer governor. That is usually what happens around here. You were there and then you're out and you're no longer there. And then we either hear about you no longer or you don't have quite the level of influence that you used to have. And you, exceptionally, like a phoenix out of the fire or its ashes, you have reinvented yourself as a minister of soil minerals. That is kudos to you, but this is what I want to know. They say that when you leave power, even if for a day, you truly know who your friends are. During what might have been a turbulent period between when you were no longer governor and you became Mr. Minister, did you actually, can you actually speak, can you testify to that fact that you actually knew people's true colors in the manner of speaking?
Oh, absolutely. I am the first to confirm that strong view that people have of those who leave office.
Yes.
Mine was exactly 11 months, from October 2014 to November 2015, when I became minister. I was lucky in the sense that I was also very busy. I was very actively involved in my party's campaign.
Okay.
So you could say that there was really no lull.
There was no time to brood over what might have been.
But then again, you discover that my 50th birthday actually fell within that period.
Okay.
And of course, the crowd was less. It was more of a family event.
Okay.
And that December 2014, the calls were fewer.
The hampers were fewer. Non-existent, not even fewer.
Maybe one or two. And the usual Merry Christmas, Happy New Year were few and far between. Yeah. But I think it's the reality of power. And you see, if you're not the type who does not take yourself too seriously, you could actually develop a mental situation.
Wow.
Because of what happens to what you might call withdrawal symptoms.
Yes.
It's like being on a drug.
Yes.
If you're, you know.
Yeah, it's like being on a drug and suddenly you quit cold turkey. I mean, just in the middle like that.
Exactly. Because all the apparatus of power and influence, all those SSS guys you were talking about, and all those policemen and all that. Your Excellency, all those superficial honorifics and all those lies that people tell because they're seeking favors, just disappeared.
So aren't we setting ourselves up then, sir, for a lot of toughness and failure in politics? Because I see it as well. You see a governor today, he has everything. If he's no longer governor tomorrow, he doesn't even have a quarter of those things. So we can understand why people want to perpetuate themselves in the corridors of power in some form or not.
Well, I think one of the places to start is to really reduce the perks and privileges of public office. I think it's absolutely important. Yes, for security, when you're in office, you need to be protected. But I think we overdo it. If you compare us to what obtains in other countries. Some of us were very, I always tell the story when I became governor and I had all these people and I refused. I insisted that I was only going to have a 4-car convoy. The lead car, my car, a spare car in case there's a breakdown, and then the escort car behind.
Yes.
And the police commissioner came to me and said, with the director of SSS, and said, you know, Your Excellency, there seems to be a problem. And I said, well, what's the problem? And he said, well, I gathered the last trip you made out of the state. There were just 4 vehicles. And then we started the negotiation. And they said, you can't do that, sir. I said, why? And they said, no, you can't do that.
Why?
It's not possible. You have to have this, there's an ambulance, there is this and everything. I said, after the toing and froing and back and forth, I eventually agreed to 6, which was still a problem. Because when you see governors come, I mean, you know what I mean? It's 20, 30.
So you had to insist on the modest convoy that you had.
But then, the problem with that is the perception of the ordinary people that you think you are even trying to help. Because in my own village, when I became governor, and I used to travel for the first 3 months from my village to Ado-Ekiti, the elders had to come to me one day and say, well, is it true you are governor? And I said, yes, I am governor. By the grace of God and the power of the people in this state, I'm governor. And they said, no, it cannot be. If you are governor, how come you come home like a thief in the night? And then you sneak out in the morning.
And I'm sure they didn't say it in English. Can you tell me? I like that. Can you please? I can just imagine, because my stepmom was from Ekiti. I can just imagine that language.
So, it was beautiful, but they said, that thing, the siren.
Yes. They needed to hear it.
That look, the next village must know that our son is now the governor of this state. Please, we want to hear it from like 4 or 5 villages before our own.
What?
That our son is coming, Logunleko. So that is the irony of our situation.
Wow.
On the one hand, you want to be subtle, you don't want to throw your weight around, you don't want to show that.
On the other hand, they seemingly expect it of you.
They actually expect it of you, and they expect that you must not casualize power.
Ooh.
You must demonstrate the awesomeness
of the office
that you occupy. That is the challenge of the Nigerian society.
Wow, that is, because I was one day again in Ibadan. I had come to MC the wedding of one of Auntie BC's assistants, Bumi. And so there we were, and you came in slightly later than the rest of the guests. So we were about halfway through the wedding when you came in with your retinue. And I happened to be taking instructions from, I think, the chairman or something at that point, when one of your SSS guys pushed me away roughly. Now, he didn't know it was me. He just assumed it was somebody standing around. And you noted it out of the corner of your eye. So there I was on stage and lampooning the guy. You didn't speak. And then afterwards, they said, His Excellency would like to see you. Then I went. You said, I apologize. You said, you actually, I don't know if you remember this. You said, Mabino, I apologize. I tried to tell them, but sometimes. You said, Mabino. This is how I believe this thing you are saying.
That's the nature of it. So
and I've been told that you can't, that no matter how many times, that not everybody gets it who is in your security apparatus.
No. Well, it's how they're trained. It's how they're trained. You have to always insist, you have to always reinforce, because for them, you are the only thing they know. Every other person is irrelevant. So you really must force it down their throats that, look, once you see me with people, you must extend civility to people too. It's absolutely important. But we have a power show. Maybe it's our military orientation.
But there is that.
We had a long history of military rule, and you had all these officers all over the place who must show. And in a sense, that is the only way they can show their own power too, unless they go back home and intimidate their wives and children. They too are victims.
Wow.
We must see them as victims, and they want to show other people, don't you know I'm the one in charge of the governor?
Oh, mommy.
Who do you think I am?
Who do you think I am? You don't know me.
It's the irony.
Awesome. Okay, sir. I have one more question, because I keep saying my interviews, I promise myself my interviews will be 20 minutes. I promise myself. Now I'm getting towards 30, and I still have a lot, but I try to dial it down to one. A friend of mine is having a baby. Very soon. It's his first child. They just got married, and so we've been having the discussion as to where to birth this child, and it's been quite the discussion. And the general consensus seems to be that, look, regardless of how blessed you think you are, or regardless of how very good Nigerian doctors are. It's not about medicine anymore. It's about the future of this child. In fact, in the consensus that carried the date was give this child the gift of foreign birth. That was it. It's a gift according to them. They said even if you have to borrow and sell, you need to give this child the gift of a foreign birth. I mean, as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what have you to say in terms of this outlook? Because we cannot pretend and say that things are exactly the way they're supposed to be. So what would you say to my friend?
Well, things may not be as rosy as we want them to be, but we must never let the perfect become the enemy of the good. In whatever we do in life.
I've always said it the other way, that you must not let good become the enemy of perfect.
No, it's the perfect, because we are all desirous of the perfect.
Okay.
That's the aspiration of every individual.
Yes.
You want things to be, in every sense of the word.
Yes, sir.
You want to move out of your house into an air-conditioned car, from an air-conditioned car into an air-conditioned office.
With no traffic on the road.
With everything.
Yes.
But the reality of life is that life would not be exciting if everything is like that. We've got to struggle. We've got to make a difference. We've got to fight for what we believe is that end point that we want to reach. If it's so easy to reach it. But then again, what gives you the impression that if your child were to be born in Canada or America or United Kingdom or wherever, you believe is the desired end state where your child will get the most perfect support system, that everything will still play out that way? I am born and brought in Nigeria. I'm an Ibadan boy, as I told you earlier. In the heat of crisis, anything could have happened to me, and I've turned out reasonably okay. Reasonably okay. But that's not to say we must not make our society as livable as those other places where people are struggling to go. Because no matter what you say to them, you are still going to have illegal migration to Libya, en route Italy and UK. The issue is, why do our citizens believe that the best is not here and it's outside? As a government and as a federal minister, I believe that it's our duty to make Nigeria an attractive destination for others, rather than as a repelling force to its own citizens.
Okay.
So the answer to that question is that it's a personal choice.
I like that. In fact, I need to give you a handshake for that. I don't think I could have come up with such a brilliant answer. You know what? It's good. It's all good. But in the end, look, it's a personal choice, really. Okay, just in case you suddenly notice this thing, I pay my hand is not magic. While His Excellency was speaking, somebody handed this over to me. I don't like to come to speak to people empty-handed, really. But it was such a difficult decision as to what do you take to people who seemingly have everything. I mean, I get some funny gifts sometimes. That, yes, I said seemingly.
I like the word seemingly.
Seemingly have everything. I mean, you buy a pen, it's probably not up to the kind of
appearance might deceive.
Yes, So I thought, what could we bring? And we came up. It was very, very providential. Our partners at Hired came here. They make familiar perfumed paper towels, tissues, and I mean these are not just these are strawberry scented. Your Excellency, if you smell them, they are strawberry.
Awesome.
Yeah. So they asked us to give you a month's supply of this. I mean, apparently this is not a month's supply. This is the presentation package. So a month's supply. I personally recommend that you put it in you and TBC's bathroom. And ration out the one going to the guest's bathroom. Otherwise, people will take it. I promise you, they will just miss.
May I ask how much they cost? There's a limit to how much gift I can take as Minister of the Federal Republic.
How much is the limit?
It cannot be more than 50,000.
No, it can't be more. You know what? If we will gauge it, if it's more than that, I'll take half your supply. I'm not a minister. There's no limit to how much I can take. So when we measure it, if it's not up me, I'll take the half for my wife and I. Dr. Fayemi, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
God bless you. Yes,
Thank you.
Do you know that even though things look bleak, we are living in the best years of our lives at the moment? Achieving success in Nigeria and Africa has never been easier for talented people. You already have everything you need to succeed inside you, and all you need are the secrets to unlock your potential. This is why you need Secrets of the Streets by Teju Babyface, 23 Secrets for Achieving Success with Your Talent. In this book, you will learn how to stop doubting yourself and follow your passion, how to overcome resistance and start fulfilling your destiny, how to find help to start achieving your dreams, and so much more. Order your copy now at laternabooks.com for just 2,500 naira or visit tejubabyface.org. It doesn't matter where you live within Nigeria, we will deliver the book to you. Secrets of the Streets by Teju Babyface, 23 Secrets for Achieving Success with Talent. Order your copy today.
All right, you're welcome back to the Teju Babyface Show Plus. For the first time, we've gone out of the studio to interview our guests, and I'm sure you enjoyed that interview. I mean, it was Dr. John Kayode Fayemi, Uncle Kayode as I call him. It was fantastic. As you know, his wife was in the studio a few years ago when they were in the government house in Ekiti, when they were governor and first lady, and it was a famous time with Auntie BC, and we already showed you some clips of that in this episode as well. All right, the Teju Babyface Show is nothing without its music. And so we still have music for you on the show. So this is a golden musical moment on the Teju Babyface Show. Enjoy. I'm jamming. And all these saxophone players will be making it look like they play something extraordinary. And here I am playing saxophone without anything with my hand. Give it up for me. It's not a big deal. All right, but one of my boys that I trained, you know, when you do things the way I do them without a hand, then you train boys. And one of my boys has made me very proud. So please welcome onto the Teju Babyface Show for the first time ever, the horn at the talent, or the talent at the horn. Anyhow you put it, there's talent, there's horn. The one, the only, world famous, Mr. Mike Aremu. Mike, good to see you.
Same here, boss.
Good to see you. Good to see you, boss. Good to see you. So what are you playing for us this afternoon?
Let me ask you, what do you want me to play?
What do you guys want him to play? I think I want Arubu Ojo.
Perfect.
Okay, you're welcome back to the Teju Babyface Show Plus. Before we go, there are two things that I need to do that we always do on every episode. And if it gets too long, then I will cut it, we'll take a break, and then we'll come and finish it. Again, as I've always said, as I say time and time again, nobody does a show on this level alone. As a matter of fact, it's not only a show. Nobody does anything that is remarkable on any level alone. Being able to work with people, cooperation, synergy is one of the key secrets of success anywhere in the world. And so I'd like to thank my partners. And with that, we go back into the studio. As you know, on every episode of the show, our friends at Hayat Kimia always give wonderful gifts to all audience members. And so we go into the studio now to speak with our studio correspondent, Omo. So Omo, can you hear me in the studio right there?
Yes, Teju, I can hear you live and direct.
Awesome. So as usual, Omo, I can see you. You can see me. I can see the mothers, the babies, and all the audience members, but I need to hear them. So let me hear you in the studio.
Mothers. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. So what's happening right there?
We have been having fun so far, and now at this point we're about to give everybody in the studio Mofix diapers.
All right, I believe we have more for them. That can be all, can it?
Also from Hayat Kimia, everybody in the studio is going home with boxes of perfumed familiar tissue papers. Okay, over to you, boss. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for coming to the studio, and I'll see you guys later. Well, I have to sign out the show right now. All right, great. So we'd like to thank our partners, Hayat Kimia, the makers of Mofix diapers, for doing this for us, and also the makers of familiar strawberry perfumed tissue paper. I mean, those tissue papers they are nice to smell. I have a friend who claims that whenever he gets them in his house, he doesn't open them immediately. He puts one in every room to scent up the whole house. So we'd like to thank Hayat Kimia, the makers of Mofix baby diapers, and also familiar perfumed tissue papers. I'd also like to thank my director, Tade Ogidon, who has been doing it. He's my first unit director, Uncle Tade. Thank you very much, and God bless you. I'd like to thank my second unit director, Yinka Bodubai Davids. Yinka of Bodubai Davids. I'd like to thank him. Not Yinka Davis, the singer. There's a difference. Yinka Davis is a very good singer, a singer with one of the most beautiful voices you can ever hear. In fact, I can't believe we haven't had Auntie Yinka on the show yet. I still look forward to that. So that's Yinka Davis. This one is Yinka Davids. When he was trying to steal a name, he chose somebody else's name, and because she was Yinka Davis already, then he went with Davids. I mean, what was that? Davids. David, as in David and S. Davids. Yinka Davids. Anyway, he's our second unit director. We'd like to say thank you to Yinka David. We'd like to thank Agatha, Amata, and Rave TV and Inside Out Media. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Bonix Drinks. Bonix Drinks, and Tibola provides all the drinks in the studio, from the water to the Chapman to the Pina Colada, all the blue drinks and green drinks and all those drinks that look weird, have weird colors but taste very nice and taste as if, it is too sweet. It's almost some things are so sweet that you're like, this thing has to be a sin. Something this sweet is not meant to be legal. So Auntie Bola, thank you very much, Bonix, for all the drinks. I'd like to thank Boladell. Boladell is the one who gives us all the small chops. I mean, just awesome. Mosas, samosas, puff puff, just beautiful. When small chop is lifted from just being hors d'oeuvres or starters to an art. So thank you very much, Boladell. I'd also like to thank everybody who works on the Teju Babyface show. I'd like to thank all the TV stations who are partners with us. If you're watching this on any TV station, then that means that TV station has seen the light. Again, we live in a country that has the anomaly where they tell you to come and pay for airtime. If you're not Nigerian, I know that sounds like heresy, but it is true. Here in this country, you produce the show and then you pay the TV station for airing your own show that you produce with your own money. Yes, that's how we do it here. But there are a few stations who are, they are progressive, they've gone ahead. And so if you're watching this anywhere, they're the ones who are partnering with us, and we thank them very much. God bless them. All right, so we take a short break, and when I come back, I give you my word, my secrets of the streets, my mentoring moment, and then we'll sign out the show.
Stay tuned for more because the Teju Babyface Show will be back after these messages. Teju Babyface!
Like our brothers and sisters in South, in Calabar area would say, hey, soldier work no be yoko. No, in Yoruba, we have this saying that 3 families in succession should never be poor.
Can I translate, sir? Can I translate? Because I know this one. In Rometa Pitoshi. I'm proud of myself.
I will give you credit for your use. Now, if you are doing soldier work and all that they see you doing is they wonder what sort of soldier it is.
All right, you're welcome back to the Teju Babyface Show. And before we go, I'd like to drop something by you. Again, I always tell you on every show that as especially a young person, if you're a young Nigerian, I know that it doesn't always feel like that. Things seem to be difficult right now. We seem to live in a climate and an environment that just seeks to frustrate you. Consider this. We're not even nice to ourselves. I was at the airport recently with somebody who was pregnant who wanted to travel. And so she needed to sit, quite heavily pregnant. And so the person, one of the attendants at the airport who was taking us, pointed us to the desk of the quarantine people, the agricultural quarantine people. If you enter National Airport, you'll see them. They're on the right, where, on the right at the airport, Murtala Mohammed Airport, there are always some cordoned off areas on the right where there seem to be offices. And so we didn't even go there ourselves. The attendant pointed us there. And we asked to sit down. And the man behind the desk, it was the rudest thing I'd heard in a while. Very rude. He said, no, you can't sit down here. So I said, no, please. This is me, Teju Babyface. I said, no, please, the woman is pregnant. I said, no. And I don't know when I lost my temper in public. So it was the people I was with that had to calm me down. I'm like, why are we this wicked to ourselves as a people? Why do we lack understanding of honor and respect? So you see a pregnant woman, obviously pregnant, and even if protocol forbids you to allow people sit down there, you mean you could not be nice and say, oh, sorry, we don't allow people, why don't we sit down here and all that? He was very rude. And I found that a whole lot of the times in our environment, we seem to be that way. Whether it's the harshness of the environment that conditions us to not honor people or give people the respect that every human being deserves, I will not know. So you go there, you see them, the agricultural quarantine desk. Very rude human being. So I want to leave something with you. There are many seeds you can sow in life to be successful. But one of the greatest ones you can sow is honor and respect. Dr. Mike Murdoch said, show me somebody you honor, and I will show you how your future is going to be. Everything that you lack now, and everything you should have but you don't have, can almost be traced back to somebody you dishonored, somebody you disrespected, somebody you just looked at and spoke to anyhow. We must be able to treat ourselves as human beings and respect people. I don't like to lose my temper in public, but there is one thing that is almost always guaranteed to make me lose my temper. It is disrespectful people. Sometimes you're walking, just minding your business, and somebody says to you like, hey! I mean, that just almost makes me lose my mind. You must respect people. You never know who you're speaking to at any point in time. It is a basic human right to give all human beings respect, regardless of what situation you find yourself. Do not let the environment in which we live condition you to disrespect people. Do not think because you have a position or some other position, you can talk to people anyhow. Can you imagine if for some reason tomorrow now, I become a junior minister on aviation? I will have to force down the instinct to go back to the airport and shut down that desk. Or can you imagine if I meet that man outside somewhere? So let's always be nice to people. So honor. I remember one day years ago when I was still hoping to buy a good car. I was driving a battered car. As I was driving out of our street in Shogunle, a GL 550 SUV Benz was trying to come in. I was the one who had the right of way, but I reversed. So when the Benz drove up, the man stopped because he was impressed. In Nigeria, it is not normal for people to give you the right of way. Even when it is your way, even when it's your right, we struggle. So he was surprised that somebody actually reversed when it was their right of way. So he drove up and he stopped beside me. So we're alongside in the car, we're abreast of each other, and he rolled down the glass and he said, "Thank you very much, young man." To which I said, "Sir, I want to buy a car like this one day." So when I saw the car, I had to reverse. He laughed and then he started to pray. He said, "You will buy more than this." He said, "You have cars that are more than this in your garage." I will never forget. I held on to that prayer. Do I drive cars like that now? That is neither here nor there. That's not the point. But use your church mind. So honor. Give people honor. Don't let this environment condition you to be rude to people. Always rude, always shouting. Yes, I know it can be hard, but try. Give human beings respect. Let's help ourselves. Let's do for ourselves what we can do. If you can offer a pregnant woman a seat, offer her a seat. It takes nothing away from you. The place was empty that day. There was nobody there. But the man was wanting to show himself what fella calls VIP. The quarantine desk at the airport, agricultural quarantine. You see them when you go. Yeah, yes, now it's my show. You talk anyhow outside, I come on television, I talk. What did you think will happen? And the man said, "You know what, let me drop it." Anyway, so that is the thing. Remember, always equip yourself with information and wisdom. That is what can lift you out of whatever oppressive situation you find yourself. All right. People keep asking me where they can buy our books at. Wherever you are in Nigeria, just go to latanabooks.com. If you can't go to Latana Bookshop in Victoria Land, go to latanabooks.com and order the book online. They will deliver to you all over Nigeria at a token price. All right, The Secrets of the Streets. If you haven't read this book and you are a young Nigerian who wants to go into entrepreneurship, I really don't know what to tell you. It's amazing, the feedback that we've been getting. Okay, I would also encourage you to follow us on social media, or follow me on social media. It is Teju Babyface TV across on Instagram, Facebook, on Twitter, or as the Americans say, on Twitter. On Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. It's on Twitter, baby. So follow me on Twitter. It's Teju Babyface TV on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. All right. Also, I'd like to introduce you to the Teju Babyface Mentorship Academy. We're working on where we can meet maybe monthly or weekly, where you can come and you can be inspired by not only me, but other guest speakers. I'll bring my own mentors as well. Fayemi, Leke Older, Femi Paul, Olakunle Shoriyan, Fela Durotoye, the people that inspire me. We're working on an arrangement where we can meet at least once monthly. But for now, we can meet on Facebook Live. We'll give you the details once every month. I answer your questions on a live Facebook session and all those. But you will never know if you're not subscribed to the Teju Babyface Mentorship Academy. So go to tejubabyface.org. That is www.tejubabyface.org to register. It's very simple. Your name, your email address, your phone number. Once you register, it takes you to our YouTube page where you can watch videos. And when I say videos, I mean lessons that I have taught. There are about almost 24 of them that I have taught right now, giving you secrets, giving you the tips I've learned for you to achieve success with your talent. So do yourself a favor today. Get wisdom, and in all you're getting, get understanding. All right, so this has been the Teju Babyface Show Plus. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Before I go, I'd like to thank the man who suits me up these days, Kevin of Kenmore Outfits. Kenmore, that is Kenmore Outfits. That's his handle on Instagram as well. I think I will give you Kevin's number. Yes, Kevin annoyed me one day. Kevin was saying something, so I said on this show I was going to give everybody's number. So if you want this suit, call Kevin, disturb him. His number is 082 331 90982. 082 331 90982. Kevin was the one that supplied the jackets and the shirt and the clothes. Disturb him. This is my revenge against Kevin for something that he did. So thank you very much, Kenmore Outfits. God bless you. All right, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.